Hi YouTube, this is Dre, and I just wanted to make a little video to show you guys what I did to stop my shift flare problem on my 96 Chevrolet Tahoe. I rebuilt this transmission about 16 months ago, and I didn't do anything special in it. I didn't use a Beast sun shell. It was just I think it was a Ray Bestis sun shell. Standard band, standard clutches. I didn't change the boost valve. I didn't do internet bullshit that a lot of people think they have to do to make a transmission, to make a 4L60E last. From my reading from 3 different books and watching videos for over 2 years, studying about this transmission, I found out that none of that stuff is necessary to make your transmission last. The stock transmission went 285,000 miles before I had to rebuild it, and I really didn't have to rebuild it then. I mean, I could have driven this transmission to California. I live in Georgia. I could have driven it to California and back to Georgia as it was. The problem that I had was it was slipping going to second, slipping going to third. I thought the second gear band was bad and the third and fourth clutches were bad. Neither were bad. The reason why it was slipping was the forward clutch housing, piston. Forward clutch piston was aluminum from the factory, and it had cracked and it was losing pressure. And so actually it wasn't the second band, 3 and 4 clutches that was slipping. It was the forward clutches that was slipping. But anyway, rebuilt transmission. I put the standard parts back in. This is the original separator plate that was in that transmission. And this may be kind of hard to see. I wished I used a little more light. Right here is the third apply hole, or whatever the fuck they call it. And the ball was stuck in this little hole right here. So I decided to, instead of trying to rebuild the plate, I just bought a new plate. And just like almost every time you want to buy something for this transmission, somebody modifies and tries to make it tougher than normal. And they end up making it, well, I'm not going to say they messed it up, but put it this way. When I got the plate, I went to a transmission shop, and it's a professional shop. And none of my books said anything about the new plate. This hole was going to have to be drilled out, because this plate, the new plate can fit in 4-cylinder V6s or V8. If you put it in the V8, you're going to have to drill out at least this hole. You may have to drill it out. Depends on where you get the plate from. That's the stupid part. Anyway, I went to the professional transmission shop. They just gave me the plate, just like this, no directions. And it didn't say anything about drilling out this third hole. So I put the plate in the transmission, and the plate was thicker than this original plate. And my little port places where the little filters for the valve body screens, as they say, would not fit, because the damn plate was so thick that the little screens would not lock into them. So I didn't put the screens in. Anyway, I drive the truck for 16 months, and the whole time, at first I had a 1-2 slip at first. The 1-2 slip went away, but the 2-3 slip stayed. And for over 16 months it was doing that. I just let off the gas before I go to third gear so it wouldn't slip. And I guess that's the reason that it lasted so long. Anyway, I was doing some reading on the internet, and somebody gave me an impression that I needed to drill this third hole out. And anyway, I went to Summit Racing, McDonough, Georgia, and I bought another plate. And it ended up being the same thick as, I think it's a Transgo plate. But that plate came inside of a little bag, and it came with directions. And direction told me I needed to drill this hole if I was putting it in a V8 vehicle. And so I dropped the pan, dropped the valve body, pulled the new plate that I had put in there, and compared it to this plate, it turns out this hole was considerably smaller than some of the other holes. I don't remember exactly what the rest of the holes are for second. Well, here's a hole here. I know it's kind of hard to see. I don't have the best light here. But anyway, in the new plate I had gotten from the first transmission shop, the third apply hole was a lot smaller than the rest of the holes. So I took a drill bit and sized it on one of the other holes, and then drilled out the third apply hole in the new plate I had bought from the first transmission shop. All right, the Transgo plate, I took it back because for whatever reason, I don't remember which hole, but one of these rectangular holes on my on this valve body, okay, the valve body I got from Summit, one of these square holes should have been round, but it was square. Somebody told me it wouldn't have made a difference. I didn't want to take a chance, so I took the plate back. But so anyway, I dropped my pan, and the plate that I had already had for 16 months, again, I drilled out the third apply holes, put it back in, and the flare is gone. I mean, that's the simple line. So I said I wasn't gonna make this video so long, but basically that's all I did. I just basically drilled this third apply hole out and put the plate back on, and the third gear slip is gone. I mean, it just completely gone. I want to tell y'all something stupid I did. When I first rebuilt the transmission to Tahoe, I did not rebuild the valve body. The reason I didn't was the transmission was not having a shifting problem before. And one of the books I read said if you're not having a shifting problem, there's no reason to rebuild the valve body. But you know, again, you hear everybody say, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. If you don't do that, it's not going to work. So I decided to go ahead and rebuild the valve body. I mean, it's already out, right? Big mistake. I took the valve body apart, and I was somewhat rushing, and I put one of the valves back in backwards. And when I put the transmission back together, I did not have first gear. It kept starting in second gear. It was shift to third. It sort of kind of had the same shift flare. Sort of kind of. Well, it was slightly better. But it would then shift to fourth gear. And when it shifted to fourth gear, it felt like it was binding. And some freaky stuff was going on. Like, I mean, sort of kind of like the torque converter wouldn't lock up. But then when you step on the gas, it would lock up, but then it would unlock. And I knew something was fucked up, so I just stopped driving. I put it back in two and drove the truck back home. So basically, I had to drop it again and rebuild the valve body again, and found that I had put a valve in wrong. I don't remember what valve it was. But anyway, the transmission is running fine now. I just wanted to add that little fuck up I did. Don't rush when you rebuild your valve body. Just take your time. I had a diagram, and like I said, I just was rushing. But anyway, the shift flare, 2-3 shift flare is gone, completely gone. Even though I drove it for 16 months with a shift flare, the transmission seemed to be shifting fine. I put my foot in it last night, and it's shifting the third gear just fine. I mean, I'm not too much worried about burning the transmission up again, because if I do, I just rebuild it again. But again, I did not change the boost valve. I didn't put a shift kit in it. It shifts just like it did when I got it. It's got a smooth shift. Speaking of that, you know, a lot of people feel like that the stock transmission, it burns up the 3/4 clutches because it's shifting too soft. It's really not shifting too soft. If you drop your pan, change your filter, the transmission will last. And you don't have to ride around with it barking a tire every time it shifts. Especially in heavy vehicles, you really don't want a freaking Tahoe, which is 4-wheel drive, and it's about 5,300 pounds. And I know this because I've taken my truck across a certified scale, so I know it's 5,300 pounds. And you don't want a vehicle that damn heavy barking second gear. It's gonna tear the transmission apart. But anyway, like I said, I just want to make a video saying that I had solved my 2-3 shift flare, and it was the fact that I did not drill out this 3/3 apply hole in my new valve body that I got from Professional Transmission Shop. Anyway, this is Dre. Y'all have a good day.